The Argent Spire was just a tiny outpost, a forgotten rock in the middle of the Zarnath belt. Nobody important cared about it. Not the Republic, not the Frontier Coalition. It was just a place for tired traders and scavengers to get some oxygen and maybe a little peace. For me, Lexara Ven, former strategic analyst, it was a hideout, a place to forget mistakes I couldn't undo. But all that peace disappeared because of one person. Mara Quinn. Mara was 28, lean with dusty specks always perched on her nose. You'd usually find her tinkering with some gadget. But her real strength wasn't her tools, it was her patience, her unshakable calm even in chaos. And beneath that calm was a storm waiting for anyone foolish enough to cross the line. That morning started out like any other. Miners were refueling their ships. I was running station logs and Mara was down in engineering fixing an overheated reactor conduit. Then the alarms went off. But not in the way you'd expect. Instead of the usual 120 decibel sirens, all we got was a low, dying beep. "Mara," I shouted into the comms, "backup systems are compromised." "I'm on it," she replied, her voice unnervingly calm. And then, impact. The entire station shook violently. Lights flickered and died. A horrible metallic screech echoed through the hallways like a massive ship was scraping against our docking bay. I scrambled to check the sensors and my blood ran cold. Reavers. These weren't just simple pirates. Reavers were genetically modified marauders who treated torture as a form of entertainment. They jammed signals first, then silenced the alarms. Their signature was silence. 120 souls were trapped inside this station with them. We didn't stand a chance. Mara's face appeared on my screen. "How long until they breach?" 7 minutes, I whispered. "Then we fight?" she asked. "Us?" I couldn't believe it. "Who else, Lex? This station is ours." The breach came, and our lives changed forever. Reavers flooded the hallways, huge armored figures with spiked plating and jagged weapons. Their purple glowing eyes turned every corner into a scene from a nightmare. We were trying to shepherd evacuees toward the escape pods when a scream ripped through the air. It was Mara. I turned just in time to see a massive Reaver war chief bring its weapon down on her knee. The sound of bone snapping echoed in the corridor. She fell, gasping in agony. The war chief barked an order to its soldiers, "Break the rest, slowly." Time seemed to freeze, but Mara, bleeding, screaming on the floor, grabbed a heavy wrench from her tool belt and slammed it with all her might into the Reaver's glowing visor. The beast roared and staggered backward. "Mara," I shouted, rushing to her side. "Lex, get the evacuees to the pods. I'll slow them down." "You can't even walk." She grabbed my collar, her teeth clenched in pain. "Then drag me. Now move." I hoisted her onto my shoulder and ran. Bullets and bone shards flew past our heads. Behind us, the heavy footsteps of the Reavers thundered closer. Just when I thought it was over, the comm crackled to life. "Control, you reading?" The voice was male, sharp and familiar. Rourke Quinn, Mara's brother, a field commander for the elite Iron Squad. We had no backup, none, just him. "Rourke, they broke my leg," Mara whispered into her comm, her voice trembling. There was a moment of dead silence. Then his voice returned, impossibly calm but laced with something deadly. "Lexara, status report, now." I quickly rattled off everything. Enemy count, breach points, station layout. "Listen carefully," he said, and we both froze. "I'm 41 minutes out at full burn. No one dies until I get there. Especially not Mara. Do you understand? Rourke, you're alone against 30 Reavers. He cut me off. I didn't say hold them off, I said, nobody dies. Then the comms went dead. A single human was coming to face an entire Reaver army. It was impossible. But then humans have a strange way of making the impossible look routine. Mara was still conscious, though bleeding badly. We quickly formulated a plan, a series of choke point traps. Bay 3 would have a pressure valve blast, hallway 2 a sudden decompression. The vents in cargo 7 would release corrosive mist, and we'd rig an EMP coil in the med bay. I started sending evacuees to the pods in small, quiet batches while the Reavers grew more and more restless, hunting us through the corridors. 29 minutes later he arrived. Rourke's Stormline Mikado 4 war armor glowed with arc blasters and kinetic plating as he landed. He took one look at the chaos, the bodies, the fear. He said only one thing: "You hurt my sister." And then he moved. He was a hurricane of precise violence. The station's CCTV cameras showed it all. Every strike was precise, every shot lethal. A Reaver jumped him from behind. Rourke drove his elbow back and its skull cracked. 2 more tried to flank him, only to trigger a ground mine he'd placed, vanishing in a flash of light. A cyber warhound lunged and he caught it in midair, twisted its neck, and dropped it. Done. The aliens watching on the camera feeds just froze. What mechanism drives a human like that? I whispered, watching the monitor in disbelief. Mara, pale but defiant, answered, "Not a mechanism, Lex family." Her eyes glistened with tears and pride. Soon the Reaver commander, Rythok, arrived on the scene. He was 10 feet tall with jagged mandibles and dual plasma hooks. "Human," he hissed over the comms, "your sister dies first." "Move Mara to the med bay," Rourke said calmly. "I'll finish this." They clashed in a sealed cargo deck. Sparks flew. Metal warped. Vents exploded. For 6 minutes the station shook with the force of their battle. 5 minutes. 4. Then the CCTV feed went black. Silence. 3, 2, 1. The comm crackled again. It was Rourke's rough voice. "Hostile neutralized." The Reaver flagship, seeing its commander fall, retreated. The station was safe. We found Mara in the medbay, her legs shattered but alive. Rourke stood over her, his armor bloodied and scorched. But he didn't have a single scratch. He wasn't even breathing hard. Mara opened her eyes weakly and looked up at him. "You took your time." He managed a faint smirk. "I said 41 minutes. Weeks later, the Argent Spire was being rebuilt. The official report on the Reavers simply listed them as missing. But we knew the truth. Rourke's strike was total annihilation. The Galactic Council wanted to give him a medal. To commend him, he refused. "I didn't do anything special," he told them. "Someone hurt my sister, that's all." That day, even the aliens in our corner of the galaxy learned a valuable lesson. You can underestimate human technology, you can underestimate their armor, but you should never ever underestimate what a human will do when their family is in danger. Mara recovered with a new cybernetic knee. I visited her every day. One afternoon she leaned in and whispered, "Lex, humans have a secret protocol." "What is it?" I asked. She smiled and winked. "Family protocol." "And what does that do?" "Whatever is necessary." And in that moment I finally understood. The Argent Spire had nothing special. No fleet, no advanced weapon grid, but it had something far more dangerous than any army. It had a protective human. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the edge of the galaxy. See you next time.